So, we have some information on the additional scenes that we'll see in Endgame when it comes out again, because it's going to be re-released to get everybody ready for Avengers Doomsday. And I'm, with it being a 3-hour movie, and the fact that I'm a Marvel fan that always starts from when Thor calls his hammers, I always watch the last fight. You know what I mean? The final big fight. That's where I always started from. I don't want to be bored. You know what I'm saying? Not that Endgame was boring, but you know how it is. Kind of like if you've seen a movie a few times, when you start to rewatch it, there are certain parts where they can drag if it's not a really complete, perfect movie to you, you know? So, now that we know there's going to be new scenes in it, I'm like, okay, well, what scenes are and where? Because that way, it could keep me on my toes as to, ooh, what's next? What's around the corner? You know what I'm saying? So let's check this out.
We have some brand new information about Avengers Endgame Encore, the re-release of Avengers Endgame, including some new scenes that Marvel is indeed going to be showing in this, when to expect the first trailer, and why we are getting the first trailer on a very specific date.
Okay.
What's going on, Cosmo Crew? Thanks for stopping by the channel. Avengers Endgame Encore is hitting theaters a little bit before Avengers Doomsday comes out, and it's hitting theaters for a very specific reason. One, I always maintain that they are trying to reclaim the title of the world's biggest movie back from Avatar. They had it. Endgame had it until Avatar came out and re-released and took it, but now Avengers Endgame is coming back out, and I think it's a big marketing push for them to obviously be able to say, from the people who brought you the #1 movie of all time, and to be able to say the last Avengers movie was the #1 movie of all time, Avengers Endgame. So, big marketing ploy here, but here's what we know about what they're including. We're getting new footage.
Even though, after all the excitement settled, and I was able to mull it over as a fan, I believe the greatest Marvel movie ever is Infinity War. Get what I'm saying? All right.
This is going to include about 7 minutes of additional content from what we're hearing. There's going to be a custom intro sequence, and if you've probably seen the one from Spider-Man, 7 minutes of additional content from what we're hearing. There's going to be a custom intro sequence, and if you've probably seen the one from Spider-Man Brand New Day, it actually had some very intricate details in it. Really cool details. Lots of words from the last one, from Doctor Strange's spell, and some, dialogue that they were having in between each other, and Peter Parker was literally disappearing from pictures. It was really cool. So something like that, a custom intro sequence, new bonus scenes, and a revised ending / post-credit scene. So we didn't actually get a post-credit scene for Endgame. Now it looks like we are going to get it, and a revised ending scene, which we're going to talk about in this video.
Yeah, all it got was sound, right? Tony building the Iron Man, first Iron Man suit.
The purpose of this is also to bridge the gap between Endgame and Avengers Doomsday. It's going to lead right into it. So this is coming from the insider account No More Mutants, and they say Avengers Endgame Encore spoilers. Trailer on August 25th, and that's actually coming from the very reliable insider Cryptic HD Quality. They stated recently, trailer on August 25th. There's a big reason that they're doing this trailer on August 25th, because Endgame Encore comes out September 25th, just a month later. So this is most likely when tickets are going to go on sale. A month in
I was just about to check my
phone. Note the date. If these reports are accurate, that's when we should get the trailer, which should show some new scenes, probably like one little bit of one new scene, and that should be when tickets go on sale, and it's going to go on sale for Infinity Vision, Marvel and Disney's new, premium format screening that they're going to show Avengers Doomsday on as well. So, trailer August 25th, look out for that, plus tickets on sale. Now, they talk about some new scenes from the movie, and I like this a lot, and I think it really will do a great job at bridging the gap. Scenes were added of Steve talking with Pepper and Scott at Tony's funeral. Now, it's really interesting.
Okay.
It obviously makes sense for him to talk to Pepper, right? She was married to Tony. They had Morgan together. Steve and Tony went through a lot. It makes sense that he would go to Pepper and say something to her. Maybe it's just some kind words. Maybe Pepper tells him something very important. We don't know, but it makes sense. Then with Scott. Scott is... It's funny with Scott because it seemed like they were really setting him up to play a pretty big role with Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Because he fought Kang.
Yeah.
He defeated Kang, or at least a variant.
Maybe they were going to have
granted,
him,
in a way that not a lot of people liked, but still.
I like that.
He was being set up to be a major character, and we've seen him in the trailer for Avengers Doomsday. He is going to be a main character in Avengers Doomsday. So I still think, in some way, shape, or form, they're going to tie in what happened in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania with what is happening in Avengers Doomsday. That could simply be him stating, hey, I have had somewhat of an experience with the multiverse. I fought somebody who fought a lot of different people in a lot of different universes. Doom might say, yeah, I took care of that problem, which I would love for that to happen. I would love to hear Doom say, I took care of the Kangs. That would be fantastic. But him talking to him before makes a lot of sense. Also, the quantum realm, which is what they are using to go back in time, it makes a lot of sense that he would maybe tell Scott, hey, or ask him a question, hey, can I just stay in there? Can I just stay in another universe? Will anything happen? And
maybe.
Scott might say, I don't think so, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But then it says Thor and Steve have a brotherly conversation. I like that. I just like that wording. Thor and Steve have a brotherly conversation.
Okay.
It obviously sets up...
That'd been interesting. A little more of them elaborating maybe on just the fact that he was able to pick up Mjolnir. There's probably a bond there that he knows that he's worthy to wield Mjolnir. So maybe there's more of an understanding between them two. Think about it. What if you were a god and you had a special weapon and only certain people were special enough to wield that special weapon? You'd look at them differently than you would other people, probably. It'd be something, a kinship almost.
The return, and obviously the trailer did as well. And Thor and Steve are kind of our big two. Right? Before it was the big three, the two of them with Iron Man. Iron Man is gone, so now it's Steve and Thor. We know Thor's going to be rocking Stormbreaker. We know Steve is going to be rocking the shattered Mjolnir put back together that has some cool and interesting new ways to use it that we saw Jane use.
Let's see if it does that.
Splatters apart,
hits
people, comes back, reforms together. I thought that was pretty cool in a movie that was, generally considered one of the worst Marvel movies that we got today, Thor: Love and Thunder. But then it says, Loki appears at Peggy and Steve's house. He explains that what the Avengers did in Endgame altered other universes because they think they traveled to the past, but they actually traveled to other universes and created a Nexus event. This is big. This is big because this would actually change what we think we know about what Steve Rogers did.
Yeah, it reminds me of what's the Dragon Balls like that. Well, they say, well, if you travel to the future, you travel to the past. You don't travel to your own future or your own past. You travel to a different universe's past or future. Which I've never liked, personally. I've never liked that. But, yeah.
If this is true, he didn't go back in time. They went to other universes, and that could really cause incursions. So some people were wondering, well, I don't understand, if he went back in time, wouldn't it create a branch timeline, and it wouldn't necessarily cause other universes with their own timelines to come and have an incursion with ours? This really changes it. They didn't go and create a branch timeline somewhere. They went into another universe and started to cause incursions. That makes sense. And they state, for example, there's a universe where Infinity War won't happen because Thanos died. Gamora disappeared from that universe and Nebula is dead. Okay, so maybe we see that universe since they're talking about it, or maybe it's just an example they're using. But they do state there's a universe where Infinity War didn't happen because of certain events. Looks like we're going to visit some other universes in Avengers Endgame. I like what they're doing here. Steve moved to a timeline very similar to Earth 616, where we saw the ending of Endgame. There, they have a son whom you already saw in the trailer, James Rogers, named after Bucky.
Okay.
Endgame Encore ends with Steve, Peggy, and James. They're in a new futuristic universe in a cabin far from the city. Now, we pretty much know what's happening here. It's the Fantastic Four universe, right? So they're in a new futuristic universe in a cabin far from the city. Yeah, the Fantastic Four universe, we were in the 1960s, so it's back in time, but it is a futuristic looking universe. It is a really cool looking universe. It looks like the Jetsons, basically. So we know what happens here, although they don't state it. We know what happens.
Supposed to be making a Jetsons movie with Jim Carrey. That should be interesting.
And we've seen some of it.
I assume he's going to be George Jetson.
For Avengers Doomsday. Loki visits them, and he says, "You're not supposed to be here. And the fact that you're here is actually causing some pretty bad stuff to happen." And again, that would make perfect sense if they go to a different universe, and that starts to cause an incursion with that universe. So, he goes to a different universe, Loki shows up, "Hey, you're not supposed to..."
So, wait a minute. See, I can't remember with Deadpool. He had to save his universe. He needed the other one. He needed Wolverine from a different universe to. See, I have to watch it again because now I'm like, okay, so depending on wherever Deadpool is, Deadpool could be causing incursions depending on how long he stays wherever he is, right?
To be here, I gotta move you. He gives him the card that we see Steve have in the Avengers Doomsday trailer. That card, from what we've heard, is a way to contact Loki if he needs to, if anything comes up. And that's going to play a big role in Avengers Doomsday because based on what we're hearing, eventually he will use that card after he's already met Doctor Doom. And he's going to tell Thor about it as well. "Hey, I saw your brother, or at least a version of him." We're not really sure what Loki's going to tell Steve and how much Steve is really going to know about the multiverse. So it might simply be, "I saw Loki, he's alive." And maybe that's why Thor in the trailer is saying that's not possible. Maybe he's replying to Steve telling him, "Loki, your brother, is alive." And then Thor says, "Not possible." That's what I think is actually happening, to be perfectly honest. That or Loki shows up himself. But I do think Steve shows up and says, "Hey, I was in this other universe, some crazy stuff happened, and Loki showed up. I have this card here as a means to contact him. Do you want to go contact him with me?" They go, and that's how they find out Doctor Doom is evil. But that's apparently some of what we're going to see. Not all of what we're going to see, but some of what we're going to see in the Avengers Endgame Encore re-release, which should be coming out, the trailer at least, August 25th, and the actual re-release September 25th. Enough time to give it, a little time in the theater.
Yeah. All right, Wonder. Good video. Thanks for that info, man. Go over there and subscribe to him. Tell him Tyrone Magnus sent you. Well, I'll make sure I get my tickets to 4DX. I don't think I saw it in 4DX. I got an early viewing. And then I think I saw it. Yeah, I saw it with whoever my girlfriend was at the time. Because I saw it twice. Yeah. Anyway, 10 million subscribers.